All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. Listen, shout out to all my subscribers. I got to shout out to people because I got certain people that's always in the comments. It's like 3 of them I can name. They my boys. I got to shout them out in the next video because they really be holding it down in the comment section and just showing love and support. So I appreciate it. I'm a small YouTube content creator or whatever, right? If you've been watching my channel, I warned y'all about Mark Lamont Hill and the educated, quote-unquote, black people, right? And what has happened? I'm right. As I do more videos, y'all going to start to see that I'm 97% right on most things. It is what it is. I didn't ask for it to be this way. So, it's a podcast. Let me tell you this, never heard of the podcast till Joe Budden talked about it today. It's called the Native Land Podcast. One of the main culprits in this podcast episode is a lady named Angela Rye. Ask me if I ever heard of Angela Rye. Never did till today. That's a thing, right? So on this episode of the Native Land, and I'm not even going to even begin to listen to a podcast like that because it's everything that I warned y'all about in my other videos. So they label it, and I might not be 100% on how it's labeled, but it's basically labeled the Joe Budden podcast and the dumbing down of America, right? Yo, the nerve. But I already expected this, and if you've been watching my content, I told you, we are far removed from educated black people that uplift the people. Most, and it's not all educated black people, but most of these black intellects are here to separate themselves. And they want our support, but they never want to put us in a position of leadership, and they don't really want to teach. You could sit here and say, oh, some people don't want to learn. Yo, that's not supposed to stop a true educator. I'm sorry. Now, I can see if a person being stubborn, being ignorant, yeah. But like in the case of Mark Lamont Hill and Flip, see, you got to be a real Joe Budden fan to realize how much Mark Lamont Hill has been throwing shots at Flip. And Flip is dumb. I get it. I be on Flip about a lot of stuff. He's dumb and he's a culture vulture. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But Mark Lamont Hill loved to throw his intelligence on the table. But then hide behind, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. You did mean it like that. And when y'all talk down to fellow brothers and sisters, y'all do mean it like that. Stand on it. You know why they can't stand on it? Because they so far removed from Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Black intellects don't move the cultural needle. And they could. But they go about stuff in a corny way, in a non-relatable way to the average black person like me or the average black person like you. Or even if you're not black, just a person that relates to the culture type shit. Angela Rye made a comment, oh, Mark, come home. Come home. Mark, if your home is with the black intellects in that space, on those podcasts, go home. Because I don't even want you on the podcast because I'm tired of you. Even on this topic, he couldn't even say that Angela Rye was wrong. He couldn't flat out say he was still doing the Mark Lamont Hill juggling shit. I'm tired of it, bro. That's why we can't necessarily, not all black intellects, because during the Joe Budden's podcast, he named some black intellects that don't carry it like that. Neil deGrasse. He named some other people. They don't carry it like that. And I got a lot of love for black intellects, and most of them don't carry it like that. It's those political black intellects that carry it like that. Mark Lamont Hill couldn't even truly say that Angela Rye and the Native Land podcast was wrong about their comments. Yeah, we know Flip's stupid, but Flip tries. We're not going to give him a pass for trying. Yes, he said Mark Lamont Hill used tricky words. But come on, yo, we gonna be hard, no Diddy on Queen's Flip. We not gonna hold him accountable to him not knowing the words to say what Mark Lamont Hill is doing or how he making him feel. Mark Lamont Hill knows what he's doing. The nerve of that podcast that I never heard of. The nerve of it. Those type of black intellects are nothing but a cancer to the culture. I'm trying to tell y'all. And if you watch my other videos, I told y'all, they are not for the people. They know when you looking at, oh, white people oppress us, and then, yo, don't ever think that those type, not all black intellects, those type black intellects wouldn't oppress you because of how much education you have gathered in your life. They would oppress you too. They would say you don't know what you really want. I try to tell y'all, it's like that's the division in the black community that we need to hold accountable. And at the end of the day, I have issues with Joe Buddens, Ish, Ice, Parks, Mark Lamont Hill, Queen's Flip. But at the end of the day, this is the Joe Budden podcast, bro. Joe made it here without Mark Lamont Hill, and he would make it out of here without Mark Lamont Hill. Meaning he could go higher without Mark Lamont Hill. But Joe touched on something that made sense. Now he's like, how can I say this? He's in those spaces, or his name is talked about in places that wouldn't be talked about if it wasn't for Mark Lamont Hill. And now Joe. So if y'all really a fan of Joe Budden's podcast, y'all seen he been on his FBA, Foundational Black American Movement. You know, he been on it. He'll say comments, he been on it. I'm not here to judge him how he should turn it up. I want him to turn it up, but he's been on it. But now he's starting to see, and this is the first time he addressed how these black intellects move in spaces. Mark Lamont Hill, yo, Angela Rye, respectfully, and I mean this respectfully. I'm not sure how the YouTube algorithm is moving, so I've been waiting this whole time. It says 7 minutes on my phone. I've been waiting this whole time. Angela Rye, where was the protection when Mark Lamont Hill was on the Piers Morgan show with a dude like Myron Gaines? If you don't know who Myron Gaines is, do your research. Myron Gaines is from the Sudan, and he hates black Americans. He hates black American culture. He is a racist. Period. If you got a grandma like me, you know all skin folk and kinfolk. And she wasn't running around on her podcast saying, oh, brother Mark Lamont Hill come home for that. During this segment that had Mark Lamont Hill on there, where it was 4 other people, but Myron Gaines is the main one because he hates black culture. And he the same complexion as me. He hates everything black American. After Mark Lamont Hill, they was trying to low-key get a white woman to say the hard R word, right? Now, do your research on that white woman. I can't remember her name, but come to find out, I don't know if this is true or not. You see I'm drinking out my Cowboys cup. She got an interracial baby. Or is she an interracial stepmommy? And I'm a motherfucker that play in the snow. They be wanting that black peen, brother. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But anyway, so fucking Myron Gaines, after like, so I don't even want to say trigger it, but Mark Lamont Hill kind of realized it's a setup. So he starts getting agitated. Myron Gaines shoots a fake gun. You ever see Tom and Jerry? They shoot the fake gun and a flag come down. He shoots a fake gun that says nigger on it. Where was the Native Land podcast to comment on that? Where was Angela Rye to say, oh, you know what? Mark Lamont Hill, you don't gotta be in these spaces. You don't gotta do this, you don't gotta do that. No. She was nowhere to say that. Why? Because he on CNN or wherever the fuck he was on, Piers Morgan show. But when it comes to Joe Buddens and 2 brothers having a disagreement, and listen, if you're an anime nerd, black people like the Uchiha clan. So we get real direct with each other and we speak aggressive to each other, but it doesn't always lead to physical contact. That's just how we are. It is what it is type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, For her to feel like he don't need to be up there, but he need to be up there with white and black people that don't support black people at all is disgusting. How dare you comment on the Joe Budden podcast? I'm not for it. It's a lot of times this podcast that held me down through work, through exercising, through breakups, through getting fired. How dare you comment on this podcast? And y'all on there, y'all on the Native Land podcast saying y'all don't listen to the podcast. Y'all got all these comments for Joe. And Joe touched on it. But I'm going to reiterate the fact that y'all got all these comments for Joe. But when Mark Lamont Hill got deemed as a cancer with CNN and MSNBC and all these whitewash media companies, who was able to hire him? A Jersey motherfucker. And I'm not being biased. Joe Buddens did that. Y'all could have y'all issues with Joe Buddens. And I have my issues with Joe Buddens. Joe Buddens is that bull. And we need to put respect on the fact that he could hire a black intellect like Mark Lamont Hill. And you're going to sit there and have comments about that, but not comments about Mark Lamont Hill going on a show with Pierce Morgan and Myron Gaines, bro. On my last video, there's a person in the comments talking about intellects. Yo, nothing makes me happier. I have a daughter in college. I got 2 daughters. I got a daughter in college. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my daughter be a black young lady, and she's going to grow to be a black woman, being intelligent. Whether it's her critical thinking class or this class, she be talking to me. I be getting a motherfucking headache over this shit. Because I don't know what she's talking about. I'm just a warehouse worker. But I love it. Don't ever think that I don't support black intellects. But when it comes to acting like you above each other, that's the problem in the black community. If you're an anime nerd, Uchiha clan, it's always division. These black intellects don't want to fight the physical battles no more. We far removed from Malcolm X. We far removed from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. These black intellects don't, not all of them. Because, oh my God, I want to know the brother name. He with the Nation of Islam. Brother Riz? Brother something. It's something like Riz or something like that. Not Riz. But like, he's a real intelligent black man. He with the Nation of Islam. I'm not even Muslim, but I could feel his message. Even like Louis Farrakhan. I look at Louis Farrakhan as an educated brother. I don't gotta know what colleges, what high schools, nothing that Louis Farrakhan went to. I look at Louis Farrakhan as an educated brother. And I don't gotta be Muslim to feel his message, to feel his intellect. A lot of you black intellects create separation within the culture. I was disgusted listening to the Joe Budden podcast. It's on Patreon right now. It's going to come out. And even Mark Lamont Hill mentioning the people on the podcast and how he close friends with them. Bro, we don't care. We don't care nothing about them. Mark Lamont Hill, you on the Joe Budden's podcast. That's the most popular podcast in the culture, bro. We not even checking out your night school, bro, at all. Nigga, school for what? I checking in Mark Lamont Hill night school. He ain't gonna be talking about stuff that got to do with black men or black women. He might be talking about Pakistan or Afghanistan or this or that or transgenders. He's too spread out. No diddy. I ain't got time for it, bro. Mark Lamont Hill should have apologized for the people that he said he got real. This is how he was. I got real close relationship with Angela Rye. Apologize to Flip for how she was speaking. Flip a dumbass. Flip is a wannabe black. He's a wannabe foundational black American. He knows shit about the culture, but he's not of the culture. Let's go on a side quest real quick. Y'all know I was on TikTok This is a side quest. I'm gonna get right back to the main story. You know, I was on TikTok, and I was watching DJ Academics talk to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine was talking about how he the most populous Latino artist, right? Somebody in the chat said Cypress Hill. DJ Academics didn't know who Cypress Hill was. You know why I wasn't disgusted? Because he's fucking Jamaican, actually. He's not a Jersey nigga. He's not a black American. He actually has a lot of derogatory comments towards black Americans. You know how I know that? Because I've been following DJ Academics since he had 300 subscribers. Let's get back to the main objective. Like, that black intellect, like I said, if you watch my other videos, I didn't warn y'all of a demographic that acts like that within the black community as educated black people. Lamont Hill up there, like y'all gotta listen to the pod. He still can't say who's right or wrong. And he was wrong, and he been wrong. That's why if you look at my past, you could look at my past 15 YouTube videos and see, I've been tired of Lamont Hill. Could have told y'all how this was going to end. You know why? Because in real life, I have met alphas. That's a fraternity group. They act like Lamont Hill. Even my last video I said, the fact that Lamont Hill was triggered by the word sucker goes to show he feels like a sucker within him. How dare the Nada Layan podcast talk about Joe Budden's podcast? I never fucking heard of you, Angela Rye, and I went and looked to see who else was on the podcast. Guess what? I ain't give a fuck about memorizing their names. But Joe, time to clean that shit up. Time to clean up the fucking pod. I'm not saying fire Ian. I'm not saying fire Mark. But why the fuck they think they run the show? How's the Ian and Mark show doing? Y'all go look at it on YouTube. I'm not talking about numbers because I'm an up-and-coming YouTuber. But I'm talking about numbers. Them numbers ain't doing good. You got Ian, who helps Joe Budden with the business, and you got Lamont Hill. Lamont Hill been on all these big ass platforms on cable, and they can't move the needle. Why Lamont Hill ain't work for TMZ? Why in the black space his operation isn't as popping as Joe Budden's operation? It's a reason for that. He don't relate to the average black man, and that means something. And a lot of our black intellect and black leaders used to relate to the average black man, and then they feel like they don't need to. They feel like I got a lot of white friends, and I follow like a lot of shit. Like on my last video, I believe in watching and following the white supremacist people because you gotta know how they think, right? They hate having the same battle in their community as us, where you got white intellects and you got black intellects, where they want to put the battery in our back for the physical labor while they sit and take the credit for it. Y'all seen this with the George Floyd Black Lives Matter. You remember when Black Lives Matter, like we was like, yeah, like I'm gonna speak for myself. Like I was like, yeah, like Black lives do matter. Like I was on it. And then the bitch bought a bunch of fucking houses. And then they added a bunch of transgenders and gay people. And I ain't got no problems with no transgender or gay people. But they added all that to the Black Lives Matter. And that wasn't the original stance. And then I couldn't even support Black Lives Matter no more. Even though, if you feel how I feel, you support Black Lives Matter. Like the message. But the entity, the corporation, I can't support that shit. Like I said, as I upload videos, y'all gonna see. And I'm a regular person just like y'all. I just happen to hop in the car sometimes or be on a walk or be somewhere in my backyard recording. and make videos. I walk around write about shit all the time. Watch my other video about Michael Parsons. Fuck Michael Parsons. Cowboys put up 40 on him. Yeah, we tied. Put up 40. He ain't get a sack to the end of the game. Fuck bull. But like I said, I warned y'all about this. Angela Rye, respectfully, and I know this is probably going to happen because I know how these black intellects work. So don't be surprised if Joe Budden talk about how he had a message from Angela Rye. Don't be surprised if she apologized on the back channels. Cowardly shit. A lot of these black intellects in spaces on YouTube and all that, the most popular black intellects, not leading the culture at all. They not leaders. Lamont Hill, Angela Rye, Dr. Umar, what's the bull? It's another bull. It's like, it's everything that I said. And I'm not saying that black intellects can't lead us, because they can. And we need black intellects. We don't need black intellects like Lamont Hill or Angela Rye. Like, subscribe. Listen, a lot of y'all watch my videos if y'all can. I'm a regular person. I'm trying to make it come up. Trying to make my voice be more heard. If y'all can, like, subscribe, turn notifications on, and leave a comment, because I respond to every comment. I be in the crib playing the game or with my daughters, even in the middle of a workout. I'll look, it pop up on my YouTube studios. I respond to almost every comment. So like, subscribe, turn notifications on. I'm out.